Hey guys, so my good friend Mary Haynes is going to hop on here with me in a minute, and we have some really fun things to share with you guys that I think will be awesome. Hold up, where's my girl? Tagging Mary. Yay, Mary. Says it's adding.
Hey,
Yay! Hello, hello.
got it. I love it when technology works.
I know, right? The few times it does. Oh, goodness. Well, guys, if you don't know, this is Mary Haynes. She's another executive director friend of mine. She also actually, her team qualified for senior executive month one last month as well.
Yeah.
So we're little troopers together, kind of going through everything together. So, Mary, do you want to share just kind of some recent thoughts on some of the Facebook stuff going on?
Yeah, so, both of our teams are primarily virtual. So we're all kind of feeling like, what is going on with Facebook lately? Like everybody's kind of questioning, whoa, like what do we change? What do we do? Groups versus events? Do I invite? Do I do like what do I do? And so I just want to give you guys some encouragement if you haven't been here for a while. We've only been through Facebook changes like 124 times. Okay. So
A million. A million.
it keeps growing. The number keeps growing. So I just want to encourage you guys that, Facebook is always changing, and that is okay. We have to remember that Facebook is a social media platform. So they're going to change and adapt with social behaviors of the people that are using it. So when Facebook changes, it may like put a wrinkle in what we've been doing. And that's okay, you guys. Our job really is to change with whatever Facebook is changing. And it may take us a little bit to figure out exactly how Facebook is changing, because they don't send us a little rule book that says, hey guys, we changed the rules. Now do this.
Right? I wish. I
know,
wish.
that would be so nice. So I just want to encourage you guys that there are lots of us who have been doing Facebook parties for a long time, and our business has been primarily virtual, and we have ridden through these waves. So Kristen and I were talking, and we were just like, you know what, we just need to give everybody a shout out and just give you guys some other ideas, suggestions, ways to think outside the box on how to work your business, and just don't sweat the stuff with Facebook. Like a month from now, or maybe even a week from now, this will all be like a bad memory. It'll be like, yeah, you guys remember that one time when we had to do the thing on Facebook? So it's going to be okay, guys. It's going to be okay. So yeah. So Kristen's going to talk about, you're going to talk about really just some Facebook stuff, right?
Yeah, just social media stuff in general. So, I also wanted to share with you guys, if you are running your business and things are peachy and you're getting the sales you want, you're getting the bookings you want, like by all means, do not make any changes.
Yes.
But if you are like, man, my parties are just like sucking, and I'm noticing that like no one's seeing my posts, like what's going on? Like I've been talking with a lot of you guys, and you're like, man, this is kind of rough. So just like Mary said, we've gone through a million changes with Facebook, so we just have to navigate and figure it out. So what I wanted to talk about was actually just using social media in general for your business. And then Mary is going to talk about some ideas outside of Facebook parties. And then I'm going to kind of hash through 1 hour virtual parties, which I'll talk about, and then using events versus groups and some things that I'm trying in my business. So first of all, I want you guys to look at your social media platforms that you're currently using and consider building an audience on other platforms, because it's a good strategy to have different audiences in different places. So let me just give you some examples. So Instagram is one. YouTube is another one. What else, Mary? There's Twitter.
Pinterest is actually,
Oh,
Pinterest is huge, and there's so many Pampered Chef people that are not using Pinterest, you guys. And we have so much purposeful content that we can share on Pinterest.
Yes.
Blogging, if you really want to get into blogging is also allowed in our business, you guys. It's a different way to promote what you're doing.
Yes. So the idea is that you want to be building audiences on different platforms for any reason that any way in the future we might want to have different contacts in different places. And also on that same note, if you do not have a business page on Facebook, I would consider making one.
Yeah.
Because with a lot of changes that are happening on Facebook, some pros say, well, Facebook is pushing the business people to use business pages. So if you don't have a business page right now, you might want to consider making one because it kind of seems like there are some trends that are going that direction. And it's good because you can, like I said, build different audiences in different places. So that's just kind of the rundown really quick. So we talked about Instagram, YouTube, there's Twitter for some folks who want to use Twitter, Pinterest, and then considering setting up a business page within Facebook on that same platform. So make sure you're in different places, not just on one. Let me tell you a story too. So I like to make sure that I have videos on YouTube and that I kind of filter what I put as public and what I don't put as public. So I had a lady recently tell me, she Facebook messaged me. She's like, I want to sign up. And honestly, I've been watching your YouTube videos for a while now, and I've been watching your YouTube videos and someone else's. And she told me who it was. It's actually one of my good friends. And she's like, I want to sign up. And I want to sign up with you because I like your personality. I like your videos. I'm like, oh my gosh. So you guys, if you're not using these platforms, you definitely should consider how you can use them in your business. And don't just go out and start making pages today. Like, think about it. Like, okay, what do I want to use this for? How do I want to use it? And if you need help coming up with a social media strategy, like let me know or let your director know because we can help you kind of figure out how you want to target and use each platform differently. So, Mary, anything you want to add to that before you talk about stuff outside?
Yeah, and I would kind of agree with what you're saying on the, don't go after everything at once. I would choose one platform, like figure out what the platform is that's going to be best for your business, wherever it is and what you want to accomplish. And then perfect that, master that, and then start, strategizing into other ones because you're going to make your head explode if you start researching like how to build a direct sales business on Instagram or how to build a YouTube channel. It's too much, you guys. So just pick target that one and then make that really good and then move on to the next one for sure.
Yeah, that's good. And being consistent. So
Yeah.
one other thing on this topic, I could talk about this for a long time, but on Instagram, and you guys know I'm on Instagram, I literally took like a week off from posting because I was just kind of like, man, I'm just kind of over it right now. And I lost like 100 followers, and 100 in like the grand scheme of things, like if you had 1 million followers, it wouldn't really matter. But when you have a small amount of followers, you're like, wow, like that consistency is huge. So like Mary said, don't just try and go and make all these different pages on different platforms because you need to be consistent wherever you're at. So those are just some things to think about.
And I did the same thing on Pinterest because I'm heavily on Pinterest, and I took didn't purposely take some time off, but I just kind of was like, I don't feel like posting right now or pinning stuff right now. And my views just tanked. So yeah, you guys, you have to be consistent in whatever channel you're going to go after for sure. They love consistency. They love consistency. Okay, so guys, let's talk about some stuff outside of Facebook. So we're all, like we said, virtual. And I hear a lot of times, and Kristen, you probably hear this too, when new team members get started, they're like, well, I'll start with Facebook and then I'll try a home party or then I'll try this. So I'm going to give you guys some suggestions of things to try outside of Facebook to promote your business right now. So first of all, we're in the middle of the holiday season. You guys, try a home party. Like, just go try a home party. Nobody's going to bite. If you've never tried one before, then invite all your friends and family over and say, hey guys, I'm doing a practice home party because I really want to test out, in-home parties. Can you guys come over and test some recipes with me? So just keep it simple, you guys, and try it out. I know like going into someone else's home and like picking up the phone, it's like, oh, but you got to do it. You just got to jump in and do it. You could do, so a couple different ways you could do home parties. So you can do at someone else's house, right? Or what I did recently, I had a hostess who was getting her house replumbed. And she's like, I really want that quick cooker at 60% off, but I can't have people in my house. I was like, come on over to my house. It's totally fine. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah, girl, you can come over to my house. And so she's like, isn't that harder for you? I said, actually, it's easier for me because all my products are here. So I can just pull things out of the cabinet. Totally fine. She washed all my dishes. It was great. It was great, you guys. So that's an option too. Offer your home up for in-home party.
Mary, can I add something really quick
Yeah.
before I forget? So here's an idea if you want to kind of do home shows but not do home shows. So I had a host in Montana and she's like, hey, I want to have my friends over. I know you don't live near me. So what I let her do was pick a theme and like recipe, like 2 recipes. And she made those recipes and her friends came over to her house. And then at the same time her friends were there eating the recipes, I streamed from Facebook into her party and I streamed live. She had me on her TV and then I was demonstrating those same recipes with products. And so they're eating while I'm like making the same thing. And it was like a $1,300 party and they had so much fun.
Yeah.
And so that is a really cool way to do something like a home party, but not, and then you don't even have to like be at the house with all the guests. So that was super fun.
That's a really good idea. And I've seen people do that with Zoom too. They will do Zoom.
Yeah.
So you could do it, you know, you can create the event. I love it on the Facebook Live though, because then it stays there. And that's another thing, you guys, if you're thinking about other social media channels, all these Facebook Live demos that you're doing, you guys download the video, load it to YouTube, and all of a sudden you have a YouTube channel. Okay. Repurpose what you're doing. Repurpose what you're doing. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. A couple things you can do this holiday season: open houses. You could do a gift giving open house. Okay, if you've got like I know I have random stuff that we earn for free, and I get multiples of the things, right? So you could do a Christmas open house and have everybody over, but make it something fun. Make it like a cookie exchange where everybody brings cookies to swap. Make it an ornament exchange. Truly love on your customers. Do a customer appreciation party. Get rid of some of your stock, take orders, that sort of thing. You could do something fun like dads and donuts. Okay, so get your those dads, you know what they're doing right now, guys. They're stressing about what they're going to get the moms for Christmas, right? So offer to do like serve some donuts, have a little craft for the kids. The dads can come in and shop, and done. You're going to be the hero.
That's a cute idea.
Yeah. And do free gift wrapping. If you have all these products in your house, gift wrap them. And it doesn't have to be fancy, guys. We're talking like bags and tissue paper, right? You could do workshops. So do like a workshop. So I've done a pie making workshop. So they get a few pie making things that they purchase ahead of time as like a product grouping. Then they come to my house, they learn how to make a pie, they take a pie home. Super easy, and it's a quick way to get some sales in and really just kind of teach some people some things, because most people don't know how to make a pie, surprisingly.
True. Really quick, Mary, on that, you could even do that through Zoom, you guys. Like if you're like, again, like I don't want to do stuff in house, like get your people signed up ahead of time. Maybe they buy like a pie pan and they buy like the pie crust shield. They could buy a few things to like register for the class. And then at a set day and time, you all hop on Zoom and then you're teaching them like how to make pie, and they're making pie at the same time. You're making pie at the same time. So it's like a class.
Yes.
So then they can freeze their pies and you can give them instructions on how to freeze the pie. And yeah, so I love it.
Everything, almost anything you can adapt to a virtual world. You just need to think about how to do it outside the box, because with the virtual world, you know, we have customers all over the country. So you could totally do that. Cooking club, you guys. Okay, so this was something fun that I did before I ever became a consultant. My consultant did a cooking club, and what she did was she got 10 people together. And so there were 10 of us that were friends, and we gathered up all of our buddies, and we each paid $20 a month. Well, 10 times 20 is 200, right? So every month for 10 months, one of us was the hostess, and we would go to that person's house. That person would, so if I was the hostess, I would buy the ingredients. My consultant ahead of time determined 2 recipes to make. She would bring all the products. But that $200 created a party. And I, as the hostess who provided the ingredients in the home, would be the hostess that month. I would get the $200 in product from that $200 that everybody paid. And what you could do to take it a step further is have the hostess do a virtual party, have the hostess collect orders outside, not to just make it $200, but at that same time, she's collecting orders elsewhere. Does that make sense? So that's a super fun, it's a girls' night out. People love it. You could do one-on-one appointments, you guys. Offer personal shopping for people. You could do vendor events. If you guys are looking for vendor event, you need to be looking for vendor events. Really, you need to be, because that's a great way to get outside your circle, and people will do the cash and carry. You could do, let's see. So virtual parties we talked about. You could do, if you have a couple of hostesses, if you're like, man, I just want to do like, I don't, you could do something like a mega party with multiple hostesses, just like we do with our mega parties for multiple team members, right? Multiple consultants. You could do the same thing. Mystery host parties, if you guys haven't done those, you could do turkey trots or snowman, what's it called? Santa something. It's like a turkey trot. It's a different something. Come up with something cute. A snowman run or snowman something. So you could promote 12 Days of Christmas on your different social media channels. Come up with different ideas for that. Do grab bags. We've seen those floating around. People love those. Do some fundraisers, you guys. This is the time of year when people need funds. So reach out to those local charities. Do some fundraisers. You could do, our team last year, we did blessing bags, and those were super fun. I don't know if you guys did those, but we did the insulated bag, stuffed it full of some toiletries. I did mine to a battered women's shelter, so I'm doing that again. Guys, that's 60 bags. 60 of those little bags. That is significant, and people love getting behind a cause. You could do some sort of pay it forward promotion. So I've seen nail ladies do this, so you could think about how to do this. But one of my Color Street friends does like manis for grannies. And so she does people buy cute. We got to think of a way to do this. So she does people buy color strips, the nail strips, and then she donates them and does little manicures, her and her team, to nursing homes. I mean, how stinking cute is that? So think of other ways to get outside in the community. Find, you could also, if you have a group of direct sales friends, get together and host a vendor event in your house, like a bunch of you guys together, get your friends together. Guys, that is valuable for busy people on the holidays. If I can walk into someone's house and have 4 or 5 different vendors and I can just knock out my Christmas shopping, I would be all over that. I'm just saying. So
yes. Can I add something to the vendor?
Yeah.
The vendor piece, if you don't know where to find vendor shows in your area, look on Facebook, because a lot of times there are local groups specifically for vendor events. Like people, like all the vendors are in this group, and then people post when they have an event, and so they get signups that way. And if I were you doing vendor events, it's a whole different story, but consider having your products and then having them wrapped in bows, you know, like however you're going to do your table, so that people can see that stuff as like a gift piece for someone else, like the ceramic egg cooker, and it's all like wrapped up in a cute bow, or like the whipped cream maker with like a spatula next to it wiped up in a bow, just whatever you have at home. The rock crock with the lid wrapped in a bow, like, you know.
And you guys, another way to find vendor events that I found in the past is make relationships with other direct salespeople, other companies, and reach out to them and say, hey girl, do you have any vendor events coming up that they need a Pampered Chef lady? That's a great way to find some.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so let's dig into it. Thank you, Mary, so much for that list. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I got excited like thinking about that stuff. So let's talk about 45-minute or 1-hour parties. So I know many of us are used to 5-day parties because that's just what we've all done for a while. That's what I've done, and it trickles down. But I want you guys to be thinking, again, outside the box of how can we do things a little bit differently, especially as Facebook makes changes. So something that I am toying with, I used to do 1-hour parties back in the day. Mary has done 1-hour parties. So one thing that I am working on right now is, instead of posting for 5 days, multiple times a day, I am going to condense it down into a 45-minute or a 1-hour party. And so I'll post a few times leading up to the event, a few times after the event, leave it open for a day afterwards, maybe 2 days most. But then that way, instead of manually posting and everything, you can just condense into this one concentrated time. And if you have a business page, you can potentially stream through your business page into multiple events at one time. So you could, when you're doing the party, you could just manually post for that entire time, or you could use a group and have it situated and post my party or whatever. Or you could consider going live for a segment of that and doing a demo, and then you're showcasing multiple products. So another way you could consider doing this, if you did not want to have to set a set date and time for when you have your parties, you could just kind of pick a day and time, and then that's it. So here's an example. Like every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, I go live in all my parties. And I'm making that the focus of the party. So instead of the host picking a day and time that works for her, me trying to find days and times that work for them, like I'm just being like, okay, like this is the focal point, like this is what you don't want to miss. And then I'm having my hosts coach to that, so they're like, oh my gosh, my consultant's going live at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, like make sure you check it out. So that way it's like I don't have to pick these days and times, I can get everyone all in one spot. And so I've been doing that recently as well, and then that way it like takes a bunch of time and energy away from manually posting and doing all that stuff at one time. So and then I also wanted to cover briefly using events versus groups. So if you are finding that your groups are not getting the visibility, or your posts are not being seen as often as you want them to, you're not getting the interaction, you're not getting the people, like try something different. You cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and hope and pray you get different results, because it's not going to happen.
That's the
So
definition of insanity. That's the definition
yes,
of insanity.
so it is the definition of insanity. So you have to try something different, okay? And you just heard a million ideas on how to do different things. So if you're using groups and they're not working, try events. If you don't want to post 5 times a day and you don't have time for that, condense everyone into like a 45-minute, 1 hour time slot. So there's lots of different ways you can do things, you guys. So those are just some ideas and tips that we wanted to hop on and share with you as we navigate different changes in Facebook parties at this time. Mary, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say, sometimes we get stuck in this, like when you were saying, there's lots of different ways to work the business. I know just at our level, the people that we communicate with, they're all working their business a completely different way, and they're all successful. So you really have to find like what pattern, what channel, what everything works for you. And the only way to do that is by testing it, truly. Don't
Yes.
wait for us to say, groups are the way to go, events are the way to go. Okay, now everybody go get on Instagram. Like, you guys just go out there and try it. Like, the worst case scenario is it doesn't work, and then you tested it and right? But if you keep testing it and you keep tweaking it and playing with it, you're going to find the best fit for you and for your business and how you want to work it. So.
And one thing I'll add to that, I agree 100%. Just be smart about how you test things. So do not say, okay, I'm going to like change all my parties all at one time, and I'm going to go to 1 hour party, like Kristen said, and I am just going to do everything that way, like all overnight, because you have to create a system that works for it, right? Yes. So take one party, take 2 parties, test it out, like keep your normal systems running, and then try something new with 1 or 2 parties, because you could literally fall on your face and everything might just stop working and you would not have any sales because you're switching everything at once. Don't do that either. So
yeah,
there's
definitely a scientific process to it. So like,
yes.
And if your party's not working, maybe if your parties aren't working in groups, then like Kristen said, maybe you switch a few to events, or maybe you tweak something in the groups on a few parties. So yeah, so be very strategic and test it. Like, think about going back to middle school or high school when you had to do science projects, right? You have to have a hypothesis and then you have to change it and test it. And I will tell you, the conversations on the back end with us were like, we're testing this and we're trying this and and we're all kind of trying and testing things all the time, but we still keep our business consistent, for sure.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you, Mary, so much for your time with us today.
You guys,
we're gonna
rock it for month 2. Rock it for month.
Yes, we're gonna go do this on Mary's page now so we can show her team some love. And I hope that was helpful for y'all. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.